It's Wednesday. It's Wednesday, and we normally do not do a Facebook Live here on Wednesdays. Hold on. Hi, Penelope. So, just for a second, I want to be sure that I'm actually streaming. Hi, Katie. Katie, Penelope, am I streaming inside the group? Can you let me know? Because I should be just streaming inside the group. It's entirely possible that I am streaming elsewhere. I just want to be sure. The reason I ask is because the screen is looking a little different. Hey, Sue. Hi, Lisa. Nicole. Thumbs up. Thumbs up. Hey there, Julie. Hi, Stacia. Rosanna. Kelly. Rosalinda. Rosanna, are you feeling better, my friend? I hope you are on the mend. Hi, Janice. Hi, Carrie Lee. So, just want to make sure that I'm streaming in the right place. Because I don't normally stream on Wednesdays. We normally don't have a Facebook Live. This was kind of an impromptu. I did give you guys a little bit of a heads up in the group. I'm not entirely sure that I am in the right. Okay, I'm in the group. Thank you, Kelly. I just wanted to be sure. Sometimes I come to the iPad and I'm like clicking around really quickly, and sometimes I have been known to accidentally stream on my private page. Today would not be a good day to do that. Just saying. So hi everybody. Now that I know that I am definitely in the right place. It's funny because normally I would be able to tell, but you guys are all my friends on my regular Facebook page too. So it's like, well, where am I exactly? Where am I? Hi, Nancy. Back at you, baby. Hi, Maggie. So, guys, I don't normally... Rosanna, that's good. I'm glad. I've been thinking about you. So, I normally don't do a Facebook Live on Wednesdays, of course. This was definitely a little impromptu Facebook Live. And this was because something happened this morning that I kind of wanted to... I wanted to share this with you guys because it occurred to me that if these kinds of things are happening to me, or if these kinds of things, come across my radar, that they're probably going to come across yours as well. And so I thought, you know what, I'm going to take this as an opportunity to chat with you guys. So we don't have a project, but we are going to talk just a little bit about, I know, I'm sorry, I'm confusing you. We don't have a project. We're going to talk a little bit about some personal things when it comes to maybe starting your own business or running your own business or selling your jewelry, or if you're thinking about it, okay? Because I feel like some of the things that I've gone through are definitely going to be helpful to you guys, right? So that's what today is about. I just want to chat with you a little bit, and I want to talk to you guys about some issues that I face as a business owner, some issues that I feel like can be traps for you all. And I have this kind of mother hen mentality where I feel very responsible for taking care of my community. And my community is you guys. You guys are my friends. You're my family. You're my community. Sorry, my dog. My dogs are in here with me. I normally kennel them before I go live, and I was like, well, we're just chatting today. It'll be fine. And here they are raising a ruckus. So I apologize for the barking. That was unexpected, and it made my heart jump a little bit. So like I was saying, I feel like it is important to me to take care of you guys. Whether you need me to or not is totally different story, but I want to help you if I can, right? Not only do I want to teach you guys how they sound scary. They're not scary, I promise. They're just huge. They're not scary. I want to give you guys not only education about jewelry making, but I also want to be very upfront and transparent with you about the industry, about what it takes to get into the industry, what you got to do to survive the industry, and then what you do if you're not wanting to get into the industry, but you're kind of on the out fringes of the industry. And that would be your small business owners who are running an Etsy shop, running a website, you do craft booths, those kinds of things, okay? Because we all kind of face the same situations. And I had something happen this morning that was not a bad thing, but it was definitely an aha moment, thinking, okay, I need to talk to you guys about this because you may have encountered this yourself. Colleen's on the out fringes of everything. Me too, girl. Me too. So this is just a chatty. If you're not interested in a chatty, that's okay. But I feel like I've got some relevant information to a lot of you out there, whether you're a beginner or whether you are not a beginner, okay? If you are not going to behave, you're going to have to go downstairs. Please be quiet. Dawn says, for me, I can make pretty things, but I have no marketing skills. Well, this is not necessarily about marketing skills in the sense of like me giving you formulas, but this is definitely something that I feel like is going to help you to keep from making some bad decisions. That being said, I don't want to offend anybody. You guys, there are some people in our group that, how do I put this? I don't want anyone to get rubbed the wrong way by what I'm saying. I don't want you to think that I am the be all end all of information. Okay. I'm just regular people sharing with regular people, right? I'm not by any means, I'm not an expert. So please don't look at this and judge me and think that I am trying to be a know-it-all, because I promise I'm not. Okay. So don't come at me. Don't go on about it. It's okay. All right. So let's talk, shall we? It does. Donna says it takes some guts to put yourself out there. Yes. And that's a really good segue into what I want to talk about, because it does take guts to put yourself out there. It also takes some big cojones, excuse my French, that's definitely not French, to know your worth and stand up for yourself and do not take less than what you deserve. Okay. And so part of this is going to be motivational, but on the other hand, this is really some important information. So let me tell you, yeah, we're keeping it real, So I've had this situation. I'm going to tell you the situation first, and then I'm going to explain where this has also come into play. Okay. So I was approached by a business, okay, and that business offered me materials, okay, this business offered me materials in exchange for nothing up front. I hit the Spanish button. I do that now and then. I'm trying to be really vague with this because I don't want to offend any companies and I don't want to offend any people. But here, let me just break it down, okay? Just keeping it real. A company came to me, offered me some of their supplies, some of their materials, some of their offerings for free, okay? And in exchange, I would allow them to use my name and likeness, my designs, and my audience, being you guys, to promote their business. Okay. Now, this seems reasonable until we really get down and dirty about this. It seems reasonable until you look at for free, no strings attached is totally not true. Any company that comes to you and offers you anything for free, be very, very careful. Okay. Because that is not true. That is never the case. There is always going to be an exchange of some variety. Okay. Number two, allowing a company to come in and use your audience. Okay. In the industry, we call that borrowing. I learned that from a business coach. To try to borrow my audience to further their business with the understanding, using my air quotes like crazy today, with the understanding that I would also benefit from this relationship because it's a two-way street. Here's the thing. It isn't a two-way street. It absolutely 100% is not a two-way street. First of all, I've been in this industry for a very long time. I have paid my dues. I have done some really, we'll call it grunt work. I've done some grunt work, and I have pulled myself, you know, one rung of the ladder at a time to get to where I am, and I'm still not there yet, okay? I've been in this industry 10 years or more. I am still making my way. I don't show up for less than $50 an hour. I know that to some of you, that's like, oh, what? That's bonkers. That's crazy. It isn't. I know my worth, and I'm worth every single penny of $50 an hour, and you are too, right? Maybe you're not comfortable with $50 an hour. That's okay, right? Maybe you're more comfortable with $35 an hour. Don't go below that. I'm just telling you straight up, even if you are a first-time beginner who's never done anything outside of making jewelry for yourself, you don't show up for less than $35 an hour, period. End of story. You do not show up. Thank you. Donna, I'll be honest with you. I struggle with that. Donna says, we think you're worth a lot more. I struggle with that. And on some days I'm like, you know what? I am worth every bit of $100,000 a year. And I know that in my core. And I'm just waiting for a company to give me an opportunity so that I can show them that I absolutely am worth every single penny of that. That is not a joke. But I do have down days where I'm like, maybe I'm not. Just let me give you a for instance here, okay? Beadwork Magazine has asked me to send in some designs for some of these summer features, okay? This is a company that I trust, so this is a little bit different than what I was referring to earlier. But this company, you know, Beadwork Magazine's been around for a long time. I am getting compensated for it. They asked me to do some designs, and they gave me the themes, okay? The themes are not my forte. They were difficult themes. I did the job. I made 2 designs, and I'll be completely honest with you, one of them I hate. I hate to the depths of my core. I think it is hideous and ugly, but I gave them what they asked for. And some people are going to think it's fantastic. I, on the other hand, look at it and I think, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is going to be my first published piece. If they use it, okay? If they use it. Editor still has to see it. If they see it and they love it and they publish it, 1, I'm really excited because I'm being published. But number 2, I am not super excited because this piece does not represent who I am. It is not I don't love it. I just don't love it. So then I have a conversation with my dear friend Jules, and I said, Jules, I don't belong in this magazine. I don't belong in Beadwork Magazine based on the fact that I sent in a design that I didn't like. And she was like, you're out of your mind. You absolutely 100% deserve to be in the magazine. You deserve to be up there with all the other designers that are in that magazine. And it has absolutely nothing to do with the necklace, whether you like it, whether you don't like it, but you deserve to be there. And I had to take a step back and look at it and remember that I tell you guys that all the time. And I'm not taking my own advice. I deserve to be there. You deserve to be there. You deserve to be wherever you are in your life. Okay. If you feel like you're worth $100,000 a year, you are. You absolutely are. You absolutely are. You know, maybe you're at the beginnings of that. That doesn't mean that you don't deserve it and that you're not worth it, right? We all have to get there somehow. You might not be right this second, you know. I just made my first stretch bracelet. Okay, maybe, but that doesn't mean that you're not ready to grow and expand and get there. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, I tell you guys those things all the time, and yet I struggle with this. I struggle with, it's okay for me to say, I don't show up for less than $50 an hour. I don't. You should not show up for any less than that either. You know, if you struggle with 50, please don't go below 35, ever, never. So when a company comes to you and they say, let's work out something here. I'm going to pay you in materials. You say, sorry, I don't work for materials. I don't show up for less than $35 an hour. I don't show up for less than $50 an hour. And not only that, but we're going to negotiate my way. You approached me. You don't get to tell me how it's going to work. We're going to work on this together. And if we don't both meet the requirements of each other, then we're not going to do it. The reason that I'm telling you this is because when you're a beginner and you want it so bad, you want to be somebody so badly, you're willing to take scraps. You're willing to take free offers. You're willing to do whatever it takes to get seen and noticed. Don't. I'm going to use a cuss word here. Don't be anybody's bitch. Okay? When I started out in this industry, that was one of the very first lessons that I had to learn. And fortunately, I had somebody holding my hand, had a couple of really great people holding my hand, reminding me of that. Don't take scraps. You're worth more than that. Don't take free. Don't take free advertising, because you're also worth more than that. And chances are, if they're offering you free advertising, they know your worth and they know they can take advantage of you because you don't know your worth. You get what I'm saying? You have to know your worth in order to stand up to those companies and say, you know what? I appreciate you reaching out to me. Clearly, I caught your eye, so you must see something in me, right? But I don't work for free. I don't work for free promotion. I don't work for, that's a big one in the industry is don't, you're going to get free promote. I can't tell you how many times I've been approached and had someone say, but you're going to get free. I'm going to promote you for free. Your face is going to get out there. Your name is going to get out there. Your designs are going to be out there for free. Here's the thing. Promotion and all of that, that's great, but it doesn't pay my bills. It does not keep the lights on. It does not pay for my shipping materials. It does not pay for my beads. It does not pay for my time, okay? Do not be so desperate in this world to be seen and heard and recognized that you will take less than what you are worth. If you heard nothing else that I said today, mark that, write it down, put it on your forehead with a Post-it note, write it on the mirror with permanent marker. Do not sell yourself for nothing, okay? You're worth every penny that you think you're worth, and then some, because you're always your worst critic, okay? I'm just saying. Now, on the same hand, okay? Robin says, not even a curse word. If my mom says it, it's not cursing. Amen to that. I love it. Mama didn't raise no fool. Nicole, you know what? That is so true, but I can remember being that girl when I very first came into the industry. I struggled with not knowing whether or not I deserved to be here. I was put in a situation where I was immediately in the same room with Katie Hacker, Candy Cooper, Meredith Roddy, Wyatt White, and I remember sitting there thinking, what the hell am I doing here? Like, I was so afraid that I didn't belong that it didn't occur to me that I would not have been there had I not deserved to be. And I took a lot of scrap work, even after that, for longer than I should have. I can remember telling companies, and this is not my proudest moment, I can remember telling more than one company, I will even come and mop the floor if you will just give me work. I said those words. To huge companies. I said, I will work for nothing. I will mop your floors if you will just give me the time of day. What was I thinking? Don't do that. I wish somebody had stopped me and shook me when I said those things. And that's what I want to do for you, because not everybody knows their worth. Not everybody knows that you shouldn't do those things or say those things, because when you want it so bad, sometimes you're willing to give up your own self-worth to get it. And I did that, and I'm not proud of that. But I am proud enough to tell you about it so that you don't. You do not do that. Don't do that. Please don't do that. Do not, as an artist, let a company come up to you because they prey on beginners. They prey on those of you who are trying to get your foot in the door. They are preying on you to borrow your audience, to use your face, to use your designs to further their business. They don't care about you. They don't care about you. And I'm talking about companies that are under the radar companies. I'm not talking about the good guys. I'm not talking about Beetalon, Softflex, Dakota Stones. I'm talking about the underbelly of the industry, the companies that when you get the email from them, you don't recognize their name. When you look at their website, it seems a little bit seedy. When you realize that the components and things that they are selling are not the greatest quality, don't go to bat for these companies. They are using you. They want to take advantage of the fact that you want to be somebody so badly that they are willing to scrape the bottom of the barrel to give to you and to promise you in exchange you will be seen. And that's not true. What they want is your people that are already seeing you and seeing your worth to come see their company. So I just want you to know that. Now, the second part of this, which I started to talk about just a second ago, and I got off on a tangent, was that not only that, but these companies will offer you materials and supplies that are not the best quality. Okay, so not only do I want you to stand up for yourself for what you're worth, but I also want you to stand up for your jewelry and what your jewelry is worth, okay? So in the beginning, and I know we've all been through this, okay? In the beginning, you start your new hobby, you don't want to spend a whole lot of money, and so you get your materials, the affordable materials, which are totally fine, right? You get your affordable materials, and you start creating things. And after a while, you want better tools. You want better beads. And eventually you get to the point where you also want better findings and better components. Okay, we're talking about things that are, they're not aluminum based. They're not junk. They're good findings and components. Please love yourself and your art enough to stand up for your materials as well. I understand that this is a cost issue, and I really kind of feel this at the moment because I've just started creating kits for you guys, and I want to give you really good components and really good materials that are quality based, and I struggle with it because I just put together some kits and they don't have my favorite jump rings in them. They don't have my favorite jump rings because I didn't have enough of the really good ones that I love to put in the kit. So I almost didn't even include them because I don't want to give you guys stuff that I don't stand behind 100%. But I wanted you to have these jump rings really bad. You see what? Like, it's a struggle for me. So if it's a struggle for me, I know that it's got to be a struggle for you when you're looking at your jewelry and you're like, oh my gosh, these gemstone beads are phenomenal. But am I going to put them on base metal findings, or am I going to spend the money on sterling silver? Like, what am I going to do? Okay, first of all, I don't ever spend money on sterling silver. just throwing that out there. But I do look for quality materials, and I want you to look for quality materials as well. And if a company comes to you and asks you to represent them, I want you to be comfortable with the quality of their materials. So let that be part of the lesson as well. If one of these companies comes to you and offers you all of this, you're going to get free publicity and everything, and here are our materials, you're going to use our materials, and you don't like the quality of those materials, don't stand behind something that you don't fully support, right? Know that not only are you worth good quality materials, but your art, your design, your jewelry is worth good quality materials too. I can't stress that enough because there are so many suppliers out there in the industry. where you can get bargain basement prices on things, or you can pay a little bit extra and get less. And it's a struggle as a designer, particularly one that is trying to make mass quantities of things, or if you're going to make kits or you make a lot of jewelry to sell, it's easier to go with the lower quality things because you can get more of them, but your jewelry overall is going to suffer for that. So keep that in mind, that like you deserve that bump up in quality, right? You deserve that. You need to stand behind all of the products that you use when you are making your jewelry. Patty says, how do you find quality materials and what elements do you look for? That's a really good question. And unfortunately, it really comes with trial and error. And that's where it kind of stinks, because it's hard to know until you actually have the component, finding the piece in your hand. It's hard to look at them, and like right now we're shopping online because we're not going out. Right. Donna says there's so many crappy quality products out there, and that is so true. But unfortunately, you don't know it until you get them. With your head pins and your eye pins, they're going to strip. Like when you go to wrap your loop, that metal is going to break away. That coating is going to come and flake off. If that's the case, throw them away. Throw them away. But here's the thing. Every once in a while, even a top quality company has a batch of duds. And that's what I've learned over the years with working with Beadalon. And we're very open in our relationship about talking about those things. I trust their head pins and eye pins 110%, a million times over. I know the quality. But over the past 10 years, I can tell you more than once, there have been a bad batch of head pins and eye pins. And it stinks because it just happens. There are just duds every once in a while. And I don't want to take those duds and like let that be what I associate with a company. It just happens, right? But it's hard to know until you have them in your hand. So my advice in finding quality is stick with companies that you know and trust, companies that have a well-known reputation within the industry. That's going to be number one. Number two, if you find a wholesale type scenario, right, with a company that maybe their items are lower priced and you can get more of them, start small. Just order one pack of something and try it before you commit to buying an order of 500, right? You got to try it out first, because you will find gems that way, right? You will find really good quality stuff that way, but you don't want to spend a whole lot of money and like bulk up on 500 head pins because they were cheap until you actually get them in your hands and see whether or not they're worth it or not. And if they're worth it, then ring the bell, share it with everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, let everybody else know, because we're all in this together. That's one of the things about our community that I really, I really love and appreciate, and I hope that it continues. I want you guys to always share when you find a good deal on beads. If somebody's having a sale, or you find some great quality findings and chain and things like that that you can share, please do that, right? We're all in this together. There's enough room for all of us. Don't hoard your supplies and your good quality stuff to yourself. Like, share it with everybody, because we all belong, right? We all belong. We're all worth being here. And, do good to others. How cliche is that? But it's so true. Pay it forward, because you're going to get it back in boatloads, I promise. I'm going to roll back just a second. Yeah, jump rings and crimps are two of the biggest differences of quality. I agree with you. Jump rings are so frustrating. Jump rings drive me absolutely crazy. And I've noticed that like within one company, not Beadalon, but there's another company that Beadalon ships kind of slow to me, which is fine. I'm not in any hurry, and I can't complain when they supply me with the things that they do. But when I get in a pinch, there's a company that I order from on Amazon to get things really, really quickly to me. And sometimes the quality is phenomenal, and other times the quality is garbage. And I'm like, why is it that the same company... How is it that your quality is so different between batches? I don't understand, right? But it just makes me think that maybe they're getting their supplies from different people. But yeah, it's hard. Jump rings are tricky. Let's see here. Yeah, Bethany says she makes her own jump rings for that reason. That's a really good way to go. Yes. Robin says this is my favorite saying. There is enough audience out there for everyone, and it is return to you when you do from your heart. I live that every day of my life. What good would it do me to have all of this knowledge and to have made so many mistakes in my career to not share those with you to help you avoid those things? What good does that do me? It doesn't do me any good. What, I'm going to go to my grave with a whole bunch of knowledge that I didn't share with somebody else? No way. No way. I'm going to tell you guys every little in and out that I think is valuable to you guys. Yes. Give yourself grace and pass the grace on to others. Amen. And see, then you guys, I see some of you complaining about companies, and I get it. I totally get it. Yeah, Terry says that's the hard part about buying online. You don't know until you get it. That is so true. I'm scrolling back a little bit, guys, here. So I want to be sure that I don't miss anything super. Yeah, if a company will take things back, that always check out return policies. That's a really good one that I think gets forgotten. When you buy things from a company, make sure that before you commit to that purchase, that you've checked out what the return policy is, because if they are willing to take things back, that's a really good sign. And a lot of times companies, like the big name companies, they want to know. That's why, like, I'm not opposed to telling you that I've gotten a bad batch from Beetlon, because they want to know when that happens, right? They don't want you to just look at their stuff and say, well, it must all be garbage. No, they want to know, like, there was a problem. And so, hopefully they can trace it back to that batch. And, they want to know just as much as you do, what the quality is that they're putting out there. Let's see. Teresa says a new store who hasn't placed an order yet wants us to buy $400 worth of insurance for them to carry our line. Can you speak about insurance? Unfortunately, I can't really speak about insurance. But I am interested in knowing a little bit more details about that. If you want to send me a private message, and let's dig a little deeper into that and see what we can find out, because something about that doesn't really seem right. I don't know a lot about insurance, but that seems like something that maybe we need to talk about, right? Like you and I can talk about, and then we can share with everybody else. Yeah, Maggie says that's why trade shows are so important, to see and feel the difference of quality of products. Yes, and right now we're missing those so much. So I feel like this information that I'm giving you today is so relevant, because so many of us are ordering online. We can't go out there and see and touch things. We can go to the box stores. We pretty much know what kind of quality we're going to get from Hobby Lobby, Joann's, Michael's, Walmart, right? We know what the quality is going to be. And if we want to step up to something else that's a little bit higher quality, we're taking a risk if it's not a company that we know, because we can't see it, touch it, taste it, smell it. Don't taste your jewelry findings. You have to learn to vet your people and places you shop and speak to people. Yes, that's a big one, Robin. So yeah, you definitely want to, another one of the things that I check out, not only do I check out return policies, but I check out customer service. So maybe find a reason to contact their customer service. Right? Or if nothing else, just reach out to the company and say, hey, this is who I am. I've been doing this for so long. I've been working on jewelry. I'm really looking for this, that, and the other. What can you tell me about your brand? What can you tell me about your products? There's nothing wrong with doing that, okay? You wouldn't go and buy a car without touching it and speaking to it and doing some research. The same thing should be true when it comes to materials. Beads are a little different, right? But when we're talking about your findings, your jump rings, your eye pins, your head pins, your chain, and things like that, there's no reason why you can't shop those people. Not only do they want to take your money, but they want to give you a reason to spend your money there. And if they are willing to open up with you about some of the things that are, going right with their company, that's start a relationship with those companies, particularly if it's going to be a company that you're going to be doing business with, or you hope to be doing business with. Reach out to 3 different companies, see which one writes you back and says, hey, we are more than happy to work with you. What can we do to help you? That's going to be the company that you're going to want to, you're going to want to spend your money on. Let's see here. Please help me price my piece. One lady say, pay yourself $10 an hour per piece. All right. Let me help you. Let me help you with that one. Because I get asked this question a lot. Yeah, Sharon says that's below minimum wage. I don't pay myself less than $25 per hour. Miss Sharon, please up that by 10. So yeah, here's the thing. Will you stop pushing on me? Not a kid, a dog. So when it comes to pricing jewelry, that's probably the number one hardest thing to figure out how to do. And it is also one of those things that can really make or break your self-esteem. We attach our self-esteem to money, which is unfortunate, but we're kind of programmed that way. And if you are looking at a piece of jewelry that you spend a lot of time on, it no longer becomes about the materials. It becomes about your worth. Like your worth somehow in your brain gets wrapped up into that. You're worth more than $10. I can promise you that. Like I said, I don't show up for less than $50 an hour. And I have said that to people and they're like, holy crap, who do you think you are? Well, I know who I am. And I know who you are, and you shouldn't show up for any less than that either. Even if you can't own $50 an hour, I know you can own $35 an hour. You have to pay yourself. You have to take into consideration the materials that you used. You have to take into consideration the time that you spent. You got to take a portion of your overhead, meaning your electricity, your internet provider, your packing, your shipping. All of those things have to be taken into consideration. Plus the fact that if the person could do it themselves, they would, right? That gets missed. You are so worth it. I call a plumber when I need a plumber. Why? Because I can't plumb. Don't undersell yourself, right? What you do is a talent. It's an art. It's a commodity that people want. If everybody could do it, everybody would do it, but they can't. You can. So you have to stand up for yourself. You have to require, a little bit more. You gotta pay yourself. You gotta pay for your materials and put a minimum on that. Put a minimum on that. Say, you know what? I don't do anything for less than this amount of money, and then add all of your other things to it. There is a formula out there, guys. I'm not going to pretend like there's not. There is a formula. In fact, there are probably 2 or 3 different formulas where you can figure out the math, right? The hardcore math, you do the numbers, but it never works out right. It never works out to a number that I feel comfortable with. So I don't use the formulas that are out there. I don't know who came up with those, but they're lame. They're wrong. They just don't make sense anymore. Maybe they did 10 years ago, but those formulas don't make any sense anymore. So, yes, Dawn, I hate when someone looks at what I design and I hear them say, I can make it myself for less, and they walk by. That's a big letdown. It is a big letdown, but let me tell you something. For every one of those customers that walks by, let them walk on by, and say, you know what, buddy? Then do it. Then do it. Because there's going to be another customer, 15 more customers to replace that one customer that's going to see and value your worth and your time and your art. And the very first place that starts is with yourself. Like, if you don't believe that about yourself, nobody else is going to believe it either, right? So you stand there tall and proud and let them make that statement and just let them go. They're not worth it. They're not worth it. Yes. Sylvia says, truth be told, if I really want a piece of jewelry, I'll pay for it, and so will the customer. Well, here's the thing about that, and I agree 100%. I can make all kinds of things, right? I can make all kinds of wonderful things. Sometimes I see a piece of jewelry and I just want it. Yeah, I could make that, but I want it. I want it. I appreciate the artist who made it. I appreciate what they did. You know, I appreciate their time and their investment and their art. And so I buy it and I wear it. Can I make it? Sure. But I'm a supporter. I'm a supporter of all of the other artists out there. And just because I can make something doesn't mean that I will. You did it and I love your work. So I'm going to buy it from you. You got to look at it that way. If somebody really wants it, they're going to pay for it. Right? And those are the customers you want. Those are going to be the customers that are going to keep coming back. That's going to be your bread and butter. Yeah, most people just want cheap stuff, says Sharon. You know, I unfortunately that's true when it comes to those kinds of markets, right? Farmers markets are bad. One time I did we have this expo center, and years ago I did the expo center, and it was a mismatch of antiques, junk, and then artisans, right? It was such a weird mix. It was just like this big huge yard sale inside, and you have to take your clientele into consideration, right? So my clientele that was coming through there, these were people who were junk shopping, and they were looking for, like, you know, they were looking for flea market prices. And when they came to my booth, they were like, whoa, no, sister, I will not. And then every once in a while I had somebody that would come through that did. And it's all about your clientele. So you got to be careful about the farmers markets and things like that. Like, if you're not making a good amount of money from it, don't do it. Don't do it. It can become a hassle. I have all of the supplies. I've got like 3 tents, and I've got tables, and I have displays and the whole bit. I invested a whole lot of money into being able to do craft shows and craft fairs. I've done maybe 4 in my lifetime, and they've never been worth it. Never been worth it. Yeah, exactly. Linda says people don't want cheap pieces, they want cheap prices. Exactly. But you know, you gotta remind yourself that you're worth the prices that are on there. Some people go to my Etsy shop and they're like, holy crap, I'm not spending that money on those. And I'm like, well, then you won't buy them, because I know the time and energy that it took. I know that that piece has 115 Swarovski crystals on it, and I'm going to get every single dime for those Swarovski crystals, particularly now, and I'm going to pay myself. And if you don't want to pay for that, that's okay. That's okay. It's totally fine. Somebody else will come along. Craft shows are, yeah, they're hit and miss. Hit and miss. They really are. That is a fantastic point, Shelly. Shelly says, hold on, it disappeared on me. Shelly says, I go to the local coffee shop and I can make coffee myself too. Some will, some won't. That's so true. Right? I can make my own coffee, but sometimes I just want a frappuccino. I can make one of those, but I'd rather pay somebody else to do it for me, you know? Oh, yeah. People do want you to give it to them at a flea market. All right, guys. So, you got any questions? I know we didn't do a project today, but I feel like sometimes the information that I have for you guys is even more important than the education to making jewelry is. I really want to be able to empower you, not only in your jewelry making, but in your life. It is all so very intertwined, and I have just learned that over the past few years, that we do, unfortunately, tangle ourselves and our self-worth up into the prices of our jewelry. We struggle with knowing what we're worth. We struggle with our jewelry and knowing what our jewelry is worth. And it is very, very much a representation of how maybe you're feeling about yourself and the rest of your life. And it is my goal to you not only to teach you how to make jewelry and educate you about techniques, but it's also really important to me to let you know that, you know, we're all regular people going through regular struggles, and these struggles bleed over both directions. So however you're feeling about your jewelry making and how much you're willing to stand up for yourself is probably pretty true about how you feel about yourself and what you're willing to stand up for yourself in your personal life as well. So, you know, please take everything that I say and try to apply it where it applies in your life. And, you know, and hopefully I help you along the way. And if I don't, that's okay. But more often than not, I have found that there is at least one person out there who needed to hear this today. And maybe that one person was just me. Life is funny like that, right? So, all right, guys, I'm going to get off of here and let you guys go. I do want you to succeed. If you guys don't succeed, I don't succeed, right? If Katie Cooper is not succeeding, I'm not succeeding. Like, there is no hope for us if we are all failing. That's not how this industry works. We have to hold each other up, straighten each other's crowns, and, you know, and let the new generations that are coming into this know that, like, there's room for all of us. And, you know, we're not snobby artists. We're a family, we're a community, and we're going to build each other up. It does help to share these struggles. Yay, awesome chat. All right, well, I am going to go. I have a Facebook Live with Jules over on Jewel Loom at 4 p.m. this afternoon if you want to see me again. That's Eastern time. Otherwise, I will be around. I'm going to take some pictures. The sun is actually shining, so today is a good day to take some pictures for things with my Etsy shop. I don't know what you guys are doing, but if you've got any questions or you need any help with anything, please don't hesitate to reach out. Keep posting your awesome things in the community group, and I will see you guys tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern time with a fabulous, if I do say so myself, pair of earrings. So I can't wait to share those with you guys. Bye guys, have a great afternoon.